For years, people have been drawn to Northland for its stunning natural geography, beautiful countrysides and stunning beachscapes. The people are awesome and the coffee is great. Northlanders are innovators and first step takers. We care about our environment and the future of our place.
Come with me as we find out more about EVs and who the people are that are charging up north.
Electric vehicles have swiftly moved into a renaissance period, and no surprise that here in Northland we've picked up on the clean green vehicles. We're leading the way in the fast charging infrastructure, and we have an amazing community of people right behind the movement.
EECA's doing a great job at providing information and education on EVs.
Northland has shown what's possible for the rest of New Zealand when businesses, local government and the community get together behind electric vehicles. They show what the future of New Zealand could be like when everyday New Zealanders can get to the position where they'll say, my next car will be an electric vehicle.
The boys at CASHBAK Cars in Whangarei sell more electric cars than they can order. So I asked them, what exactly is an electric car? What sets them apart from traditional petrol vehicles?
So basically the difference is that in an electric car you don't have a petrol engine.
Yes.
So there is no oil changing, there's no servicing, that side of things.
So you save money immediately on maintenance?
Totally, yeah.
I was surprised that I got to take it for a test drive.
Right.
And the sound, there was no noise.
Yep. So there is no engine. It's an electric motor, and there's actually no transmission either. There's only about 18 moving parts on the vehicle, which are, compared to a petrol vehicle that has thousands.
So there's lots of lights and things on the dash.
Yep.
And I noticed that when you go up, there's different lights, and then when you go down,
yes,
there's different colours.
Yep, no, we can switch it on and I can show you. Basically your lights on the dash are quite a bit different to what you would normally have in a petrol vehicle. Basically it's going to show you whenever you're accelerating, and whenever you're decelerating it's going to show you how much charge you're throwing back into the battery.
For a family like mine, this would be great for zipping around town.
I've got 3 kids that are in 3 car seats, and we can get the doors squeezed closed with all 3 car seats in, and a double pram in the boot. So,
oh wow!
Yeah, so there's and on top of that there's room for groceries from the farmer's market, that kind of thing.
Because car seats are a massive consideration because the space is always touch and go in vehicles, so that's really great to hear. So when I first got into the vehicle, one of the things that I noticed more than anything is just turning it on. I had to ask, is it going? It was that quiet. And other than how peaceful it is to use as a vehicle, nothing's actually different. The power's there. I really like the idea of the efficiency. That sustainability is just very, very good. So people think that charging's really difficult. It's actually straightforward.
Destination charges typically take from 4 to 8 hours to fully charge an EV. These are great if you're spending the day at work or going to do your shopping. For those of us who prefer a quick top-up, ChargeNet's state-of-the-art rapid charging network has you covered.
So this is a fast charger. In 20 minutes you can get 80% fill. Check your email and Facebook, it's all done. In May 2014, Northpower put in New Zealand's first EV fast charger here in Whangarei. They've since added a number of destination chargers here at the Alexander Street substation. What's great about this charge station is Northpower uses all of the energy from its Wairua hydro power station in Tituki to provide all the energy for these charge stations. The flow-on effect from this has been the fast growth of the EV sector throughout New Zealand. Northland has the highest uptake of EVs per capita throughout the country. Playing a key role in this is the drive and passion of Stephen D. West from Charge.net. They're rolling out dozens of fast chargers throughout New Zealand in the next 3 years.
So we are here in the parking lot of the Jacques Foursquare in Kaiwaka, and this is the very first fast charging station in New Zealand by ChargeNet, the first of 75 stations. Northland has been leading the charge and electric vehicle uptake since the very early days, And living proof of that is the amount of electric vehicles that have come down for this ribbon cutting.
What we're doing is rolling out a nationwide network of fast DC chargers for electric cars.
Northland is just, I don't know, they've recognised the benefits of it. The guys up here have just leaped on the bandwagon, and they've put in a few charge stations. People have picked up on it, and it just rolls on from there. You build it and they're going to come.
Originally, I think it was an email. They just sent us an email to our store and just laid out what they're proposing throughout Northland, New Zealand. And I think they're actually awesome, and I'm actually quite interested in possibly getting one ourselves, so yeah.
Their initial focus has been here in Northland, where we have 5 EV fast chargers already. In fact, with the number of fast chargers and destination chargers that have gone into Northland, Northland now has the best EV highway of any region.
This is such an ideal place for electric cars, and I love how community driven it is. You know, people sort of think, oh, there's only 1,000 electric cars in New Zealand, and yet it's doubling every year. So it's exciting to see the energy around electric cars here, and the interest of the utilities, and how supportive companies like Northpower are, and ChargeNet, and all the different players sort of coming together with such enthusiasm and passion towards, we're going to really make this work.
There's enthusiasts, there's people that love the technology and love the experience, and they will buy the cars even with the restrictions they come with. But we're going to run out of those people sooner or later, so that exponential growth can't continue unless we remove the barriers. And one of those barriers is the lack of infrastructure, so we're doing our part to take away that.
EVs are growing slowly, electric vehicles are growing slowly in the marketplace, but there's 2 main issues. Number 1 is lack of product. And by that I mean variety. So there's no single gas car or petrol car that works for absolutely everybody, and there's not going to be a single EV that suits everybody either. So we need a variety of vehicles in different body styles, different price ranges, different performance, all of those sorts of things for people to be able to pick what really works for them. And number 2, across the board, has been really crappy marketing. We have not done very well as an industry at actually marketing electric vehicles, and cars are an emotional purchase, and they're usually the second biggest purchase anyone will make in their lives, and yet we sell them like they're an appliance or a refrigerator, and no one waxes poetic about the refrigerator.
Not having a convenient way of being able to drive anywhere you want, well, it really sucks. And knowing that EVs are so good for New Zealand, we decided to take a stand and do something about it.
And by putting in a mix of fast charging and opportunity charging and destination charging, everybody's got free access to every inch of this country in their electric vehicles.
I think certainly lowering any barriers to entry, making it easy for people to install electric vehicle chargers, own electric vehicles, drive them around. There's a lot they can do to promote, but even just removing barriers is significant.
It's a high entry price initially. As the technology, just like your cell phone was very expensive initially, and as the technology gets better, it gets cheaper.
The EECA organisation, the government organisation, have a statistic: 90% of people that test drive an electric car buy one.
So kind of the first thing you notice is the lack of engine noise. This car's quite quiet. And so we have actually put a car in for a service, and all they did was wiper blades, the aircon air filter, and topped up the brake fluid. That's all they could find to service. So.
I think electric vehicles, yeah, why wouldn't you? I mean, the price of gas is going up. It only takes 20 minutes to charge. I don't see where the inconvenience is, you know?
They're coming in now at around the $19,000 mark.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, oh my gosh. It's really fast. Oh my God.
You like that?
Yes. Yes.
Not what you'd expect out of an electric car, right?
No, that's so cool. Well, I had my heart set on a Jeep Wrangler when I got home, but might be changing my mind.
Electric cars are so much cleaner than petrol cars, especially in a country like New Zealand that's already 80% renewable energy. So it's not only cheaper to drive, it's much cleaner to drive. Most electric vehicles don't use any petrol at all. A few use both. So there's zero emission, and then you're only a matter of trying to manage or mitigate whatever the power plant is producing. And if you're already starting with hydro or wind or solar or something significantly clean, it's not an issue at all.
It's good knowing that we're independent of the international supply of oil, And it's really great knowing that we're not pumping fumes into the atmosphere.
They're quiet, they run on New Zealand-made electricity, that's the biggest thing, instead of oil that we import at about $8 billion a year.
Well, I like torque and horsepower more than anybody rightfully should, so I am drawn to the performance of electric cars. They're quick, they're quiet, they're smooth, most of them are very, very fast. They're also very environmentally friendly, they use domestic energy, they're much cheaper to drive, and it's money we're not sending overseas and elsewhere. So there's a whole bunch of different reasons to like them.
There's just a whole lot of feel-good factors that go along with it, but at the end of the day also the awesome performance of electric vehicles. They really push you back in the seat every time you take off from a green traffic light.
It's super quiet, it's really efficient, it's quick off the mark. It's just a quiet, pleasurable car to drive. It's very, it's odd. You first get into a car and you start it and it's completely silent.
Drive one. Yeah, I mean the significant thing about driving one is it convinces people what a great experience it is. Everybody comes out going, oh my God, it's just like a real car. And there's usually some doubt until you get a chance. But driving them and talking to regular people that own them is the most useful thing you can do.
Tesla's Model S is widely known as being powerful and luxurious. It's the fastest legal road car in the world, featuring ludicrous mode, which gives it enough power to go from 0 to 100 in 3 seconds. ChargeNet bought a few on their road trip and took people for test drives.
It was amazing. As most people say, wow, when he hits ludicrous mode. It's incredible acceleration.
Oh, it was absolutely amazing. The power, that thing's putting out 500 kilowatts and it's so quiet, so relaxing.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was really good, nice and smooth, fast, fun. Yeah.
We've studied them a bit ourselves, and of course they're the safest car, bar none, and also the fastest accelerating. So
playing with all the gadgets, so I got the camera to go so that we could see behind what was happening. So when we're driving along, could see the cars behind us, playing around, getting the music to go, and yeah.
So the technology in this thing blew me away. The car actually raises itself up to go over speed bumps and it remembers where the bumps in the road are. That is the future, definitely.
I like that I'm driving around town and it's costing me nothing in gas. Literally tonight, go home, plug it in, that's it. It's really nice to drive past a gas station, look at everyone lined up and not seeing how much petrol that you're paying for.
We have people driving 30, 40 Ks a day to work. Now, when you yearly, they're going to be spending $5,000 a year on petrol. You drive this car and you spend $600, $700 a year on electricity. Our electric bill's gone up by about $50 a month, but guess what? Our petrol bill's gone down by like $300, $400 a month. So it's very simple. It's just money in your pocket.
Local organisations are already taking the charge. We have New Zealand's first electric taxi, some businesses with fleets and other businesses putting in charging stations.
Looking at Northpower's business case, twofold. One is its low running costs, lower maintenance costs. And it's one of the great advantages that electric cars are very efficient around town. Stop-start doesn't worry them. The other reason that is it helps promote electric vehicles, so our use is partly using them where they're applicable, being seen out there with electric vehicles and raising the profile of electric vehicles in our community.
I think when you start looking at your business costs, a lot of it is travel expenses. And in our business, we often get charged by consultants or engineers. They're charging typically about $1 a K. Running cost on an electric car would probably be 2 cents per K.
And it has a lot of synergies with our electricity distribution business. We're in the business of delivering electricity to installations and homes and premises. Basically, electric cars require electrical energy, so it's aligned with our distribution business very much.
Well, my name's Margaret Baker and I drive the first 100% electric taxi in New Zealand. A lot of people, they don't notice straight away that it's electric. I get people that get confused with electric and hybrid, and I have to explain to them, no, it's 100% electric, but generally real favourable feedback.
Look at your pattern, what your drivers do. With a little bit of, just with a little bit of planning, you can make it work.
I'm a photographer, so I work out of my studio at home a lot, but I visit a lot of people, so I would do 100 to 200 Ks in a day. So this car suits me.
It's a lot cheaper to run than a petrol car. I mean, some of these guys are spending 40 odd bucks a day on gas. We're going through, say, 2.5 charges a day, so we're looking at, maybe 10 bucks, 8 to 10 bucks a day.
We're the lead trade industry publication house in New Zealand for the automotive trade, and we've recently, a couple of months ago, launched EV Talk, which is the first electric vehicle magazine in the country. We thought it's a market that's only going to grow. I mean, the EVs, in my belief, are going to make up in the future a significant proportion of New Zealand's fleet, and we believe that's a story that needs to be talked about.
The critical thing for our point of difference is sustainability. We're quite a forward-thinking organisation. This is a brand new centre that's got a cafe, it's got solar heating, and it was a no-brainer for us to include the EV charger. All our clients are under 5 years of age, so if we're thinking the future, they are the future. So by us spending some time and some money now doing the research, we figure that it won't be my generation, or possibly yours, it'll be the generation to come that'll benefit from our investment here.
All of this conversation about EVs has me really excited about the future of this technology and where it's taking us.
New Zealand is going to have more than an exponential or doubling because we have access to the ex-Japan market of electric vehicles. So we're a very unique economy, and we're not afraid to bring in electric vehicles. And then, of course, there's a lot of corporates moving towards fleets, and of course, when they arrive, they'll come in to the public light vehicle fleet as well.
In 10 years' time, it's just going to be the normal thing to do, is to just drive an electric car. They're so awesome. Once you've actually sat in one and taken a ride in one, or better yet, driven one, there's no feeling like it.
Well, I mean, realistically, we're expecting to see a significant uptake in electric vehicles. As you know, the charging infrastructure is starting to be rolled out by various groups of people, and there's quite an interest in developing that.
Northland obviously has done an amazing job in putting a structure in place which, Auckland is going to be one of the biggest centres of EVs initially, so if they can make it easy for Aucklanders to go there, then that's great from an economic perspective.
You wake up every morning with a full tank, which is just no better feeling than driving past petrol stations, waving them by as you pass, and not even knowing what the price of petrol is.
But I think as people become more aware of them and their advantages, and if the price keeps on dropping of good quality second-hand electric vehicles, you'll see a bigger uptake.
Our charging stations will have 75 in the next 3 years, and that's just the beginning. So that's just the start of a very large plan to make sure that everyone can drive electric vehicles wherever they want to.
Long term, you'd probably want to see some heavier vehicle fleets, your rubbish trucks and delivery vehicles and things like that, starting to be developed. Maybe even local commuting buses and things like that.
The government can play a great convening role for all of the different stakeholders involved, between car companies and utility companies and grassroots organizations and all of the different folks that are required just to make this successful.
With EECA and the government right behind the EV sector, it's expected that EV numbers will double year on year.
So to help accelerate the uptake of electric vehicles in New Zealand, the government has recently announced a package of measures which will support electric vehicles and allow them to double in numbers each year on our roads, so that we start to see them everywhere and that people are really happy to commit to their next vehicle being an EV. So EECA will be working with other government agencies to help meet that target of doubling the number of EVs on the road. We will be helping provide information to consumers, to businesses, to local government to help them with moving along that path. We'll also be managing the government's contestable fund of up to $6 million a year to really help innovative EV projects get going here.
Because of the collective efforts of the EV community, we're seeing a ripple effect throughout the country, which is really fast-tracking the growth of the EV sector. This is just the start of a really exciting journey.